You thought we were done? No. It's never done. We had part one this past Saturday. Here's part two. Quick rundown of the top stories of 2024. And we start with the WWE playing 2300. Yeah, you know what that was? The WWE held an episode of NXT at the ECW Arena right here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and now goes by the 2300 Arena. And it was a very, very good show, solid show, headlined by who else? What else? The stars of NXT, the women's division. And they had themselves a 10-women tag match that absolutely stole the show. Then we have the soft reboot of AEW with the Death Riders taking over. Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, Wheeler Yuta, and Marina Shafir have been running roughshod over AEW, wanting everyone to stand up, take notice. We are in charge until you stop us. With a sad note, Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans, passed away. They died within a month or two of each other. If you don't know, the Anoa'i family is probably the most legendary family in all of professional wrestling, including members of the Bloodline, The Rock, the Usos, Naomi by marriage, and so much more. This was a sad day. The Wild Samoans were an integral part of the history of professional wrestling, and they will be sorely missed. How about AEW is in a world of hurt? What does that mean? Well, we hurt people. The Hurt Syndicate debuts in AEW. MVP Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley joined up with the All Elite group, and they're set their sights on a few members of the roster, most importantly Swerve Strickland. And this is good. We know a lot of us wanted the return of the Hurt Business, and this is what we got. The Hurt Syndicate, which they were known by, I believe, in TNA, is back, and they've been doing pretty well for themselves. How about the legend, the icon, Sting, retiring, having his final match of Revolution earlier this year, teaming up with his longtime partner and mentee, Darby Allin, as they defended the tag team championships against the Young Bucks in an anything goes match. And this was none too shabby. It was an awesome match because Sting knew what to do. Sting knows wrestling, and he and Darby Allin were a match made in heaven, and you couldn't have not find better opponents to help them and guide them, lead to the legendary match, none other than the Young Bucks. How about Psycho Sid, the legendary one? He passed away. He rebuilt himself after that terrible leg injury, but a legend in this business. From WWE to WCW, Psycho Sid was one of a kind. And the WWE also introduced their ID program. Essentially, this is kind of like an NIL program, kind of like the G League, and whereas they start signing people to ID contracts. These people aren't under contract to the WWE. They can still work the indies. They can still go on living their lives, but WWE has the right of first refusal and can bring them into the roster, to NXT, to the main roster. With the biggest name right now being signed is none other than Smiley Kylie Ray. We'll see how this goes. We got some news that Raw will be moving to Netflix starting soon, in a couple weeks. Raw's moving to Netflix, where SmackDown's moving to US. SmackDown has already moved to USA. Raw moving to Netflix is a very, very big deal. You can reach many more homes because there are more people that have Netflix than have cable, and this is going to be big. They're already introduced the transfer portal to get wrestlers in and out, to switch up the rosters on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. The Wyatt Six debut. This faction paying homage to the legendary Bray Wyatt, consisting of his brother Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, and Dexter Lumis, representing the characters that Bray Wyatt introduced in the Firefly Funhouse. They have one mission only: do not turn your back on family. Do not hurt the ones that you claim to love. Then we got the Hardys making the return to TNA. Yes, their AEW run left much to be desired. Most of that's on Jeff Hardy. doing what Jeff Hardy does, but they returned to TNA. They are now the tag team champions, and they're continuing their legendary career. They have spent many years in TNA before, with both becoming world champion. TNA is where Matt Hardy introduced the broken gimmick. How about this? And the most shocking thing that just annoyed me, ESPN introduced year 2 of their top 30 under 30 list, and Dominic Mysterio was number 1, surpassing the likes of MJF and Tony Storm and Rhea Ripley and many others. I understand Dom being in the top 5, but being number 1, that's a reach. And topping the PWI 250, women's 250, is none other than the timeless one, Tony Storm, making her return this past Wednesday on Dynamite. Tony Storm honestly deserved that top spot. Go check out a Let's Talk About It, where we really broke down the list, and I'll tweak some things, because I do believe that one, Athena should have been in the top 5, maybe even possibly number 1. But congratulations to Tony Storm. How about the working relationship between NXT and TNA wrestlers going between both shows, working on the pay-per-views, and none other than the 2 biggest names have been Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry. This actually helped Joe Hendry to get even more over, and this helped get more eyeballs on TNA. The ratings have still been the same, but people now know their name more. How about Britt Baker returning? And listen, she is one of the top stars of the division, but the division has surpassed us. But she returned from her really bad injury. Maybe she knows how Thunder Rosa feels. Ended up taking on Mercedes Moné at All Out for the TBS Championship. Yes, this stuff left much to be desired with the match, but Britt Baker is back, and we'll see if she can regain some of that glory and popularity that she had before. And lastly, whose house? Swerve Strickland, being the guy, being the man, being the one to carry that AEW brand. His rise to the top, starting at the beginning of the year, was absolutely amazing. This guy has turned into a top player in this business. Even started some discourse with his new contract being signed. Who are you to tell how much a man is worth? You're worth whatever you pay when you think he is. Oh, but Swerve Strickland has become a star in this industry, a star in this business, and I, for one, I'm looking forward to what's next. But that is the rest of the top stories of 2024. What did I miss? Go back and look at part 1. Check out part 2. I'll see you when I see you. Come back for the Hot Wrestling Podcast this Saturday. Peace.